When I was a kid, I heard a sentence that completely messed with my brain. And I've never forgotten it. Decades later, it still sticks with me. And maybe it will stick with you too. The sentence itself was simple, just an ordinary sentence. But I bet if I said it to you right now and asked you what it means, you'd probably think it only has one meaning. The sentence is this: I never said you stole the money. Pretty straightforward, right? But then, whoever first told me this, maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a friend, I honestly don't remember. They showed me something strange. They said, watch what happens when you stress a different word each time. And suddenly, the sentence started changing. Not the words, the meaning. Listen to this. Same sentence every time, but every time it means something different. I never said you stole the money. Someone else said it, not me. I never said you stole the money. I'm denying it completely. I never said you stole the money. Maybe I implied it. Maybe I hinted at it. Maybe I wrote it down. Maybe I just gave you that look. I never said you stole the money. Maybe someone else stole it, just not you. Maybe Jack stole it. I never said you stole the money. Maybe you borrowed it. Maybe it accidentally relocated itself into your pocket. I never said you stole the money. Maybe it was some other money. I never said you stole the money. Maybe it was the jewelry, or the goat, or something much worse, if that's possible. It's the same sentence, same words, same order, but depending on which word you emphasize, you get a completely different meaning every time. And that's when it hit me. Language isn't just about words. It's about how those words are delivered. There's actually a name for this. It's called contrastive stress. But honestly, you don't need the fancy term to understand it. You've been using this your whole life. Every time you stress one word over another, you're basically telling the listener, this is the part that matters. This is what I'm correcting. This is what I'm pushing back on. And once you notice this, you start seeing it everywhere. And just remember, I've never said to you, you must subscribe to this channel. I would never say that. You don't have to. Which brings us to a problem we all run into now, constantly. Texting. Because texting strips all of this away. When you send a message, you lose the tone, the timing, the emphasis, the facial expression, all the invisible little signals that carry meaning. And now the person reading it has to guess what you meant. Take a simple word like fine. If someone says, that's fine, it could mean everything is good. But if they say, that's fine, with that little edge to it, now it means the exact opposite. It means it is very much not fine. It means you've done something questionable and they're choosing not to start a war yet. And that's why the old Key and Peele texting skit is so funny to me, because it's painfully true. The messages themselves are simple, but each guy keeps imagining a different tone behind them. And before long, it almost leads to a brutal murder. So real. But this doesn't just matter in casual conversation. It matters anywhere language is being used strategically to persuade, to influence, to dodge, to protect someone. Because sometimes ambiguity isn't a flaw in communication. Sometimes it's the whole point. A sentence can be crafted so carefully to strongly suggest one meaning while still leaving just enough room to deny that's what was meant. That happens in arguments, it happens in politics, it happens in headlines, it happens in public statements, apologies, press releases. PR people are masters of this. They want the impact of a bold claim without the accountability of actually making one. And once you notice that, you start reading and listening to things a little differently. You start realizing that bias, persuasion, and spin don't always show up as outright lies. Sometimes they show up as carefully worded sentences that can be read more than one way. A sentence can lean in one direction or nudge the reader toward one interpretation, but still leave enough wiggle room for plausible deniability. Just a note, Learn what mental reservation means. That's worth paying attention to. So that one sentence, "I never said you stole the money," stuck with me all these years.
You're old, mister.
Because it reveals something simple but crucially important. Words don't carry meaning all by themselves. We do. We give the meaning. We shape meaning with emphasis, with tone, with timing, with the little rises and falls in our voice that never really show up on the page. Same sentence, same words, but change the emphasis, and you change the reality of what's being said. And once you see that, you start listening a little more carefully. Just remember, I never said you had to subscribe, but I'd love if you did. Now you're wise to the words. Or are you?